Hello everyone, welcome back to the Eradicators. I am your host, the Eradicator, and in this video we'll have a little follow-up of another videos that I made about 2 months ago regarding Frozenheim, which I thought would be maybe an alternative to Valheim, right? Frozenheim was advertised as an RTS city builder game, and it is now available on Steam, so let's have a look at what it looks like in early access. Now guys, remember, this is an early access game with very little features compared to what it is going to have when it's going to have the full release. This is a game that was made by an independent studio with not a lot of funds. So keep that in mind, guys. This is not a AAA game or AA or just single A. But nevertheless, it looks interesting. It definitely looks pretty good on the trailers and intriguing, so that's why we're going to check it out right here as it is now available on Steam. And so what is Frozenheim? Well, I tried to play a couple of games in Frozenheim, and the first thing is that it is not a city builder, at least not in this current stage. And the reason why I think it is not a city builder is because the game mechanisms that you're going to encounter in Frozenheim are much closer to traditional RTS games, where you have access to some resources, usually workers, and you have to build houses to increase your population. You have to train units with barracks, pretty much like a game like Age of Empires 2, for example. Explore the area. There is a fog of war, which is very well done, by the way. If you look at the images here, it definitely looks like a very nice looking fog, and I think that this is a very nice touch and a modern take on this classic feature of RTS games. And you also have some enemies that are going to attack you or destroy you. Now there is of course a multiplayer game where you can play against other players or simply as a co-op, which is of course a very nice touch. But overall, there is no such thing as elaborately building your outpost or your city. So there's none of that. It's just placing the regular buildings that you're going to be using throughout the game, and then gathering the resources in order to grow your settlement, make it thrive, and maybe eventually overpower the other settlements that are around you. Now let's talk graphics a little bit, and I think that the game looks really nice, especially if you look at the alternative that we were talking about in the previous video, Valheim, which looks a little bit too cartoonish to my taste, as Frozenheim really tries to emphasize that on better effects, a more realistic looking type of environment. I really love, for example, especially when it's freezing, you got a frozen effect on the camera, which looks very dramatic, and at the same time, you got all your little NPCs that are actually making paths through the snow. I thought that this was a very nice touch. It's also worth noting that the foliage, for example, moves according to how your units are hiding or passing through it, which is also very nice. I like also how your unit can use the forest in order to hide and ambush enemies. That is also going to bring an extra dimension to your strategy, something that will also be present in the upcoming Age of Empires 4, by the way. Overall, when it comes to combat, Frozenheim is really not easy, especially if you play some random games. That sometimes you are going to be attacked or ambushed by enemy NPCs, and if you don't have defenses and if you don't have the right units posted at the right time, they are going to wreak chaos into your settlement. I like the fact that Frozenheim is not an easy game. It is hard. You are going to lose a lot, even if you are seasoned. If you are seasoned in RTS games, this is going to be a game that will make you lose a lot. You have to save and reload quite a few times in order to be able to get yourself out of these predicaments. That is also a very nice touch, since we're living in an age where games tend to be easier and easier. Now, combat itself is all done in real time. There's no turns that you are going to take, so you have to follow how you have to see how your units are faring. And what's very nice is that you can really zoom very up close to see the fight in details, which is also a very nice touch. Now, next, when it comes to strategy itself, you're gonna have to be careful, because you need to manage all of your different resources. Each of the units that you are going to be training from the barracks are going to have different different resources that are going to be made, and some of these resources require you to develop your economy further, which is also a very nice touch because it's going to force you to plan a little bit more. Now, one thing that I noticed though is, for example, if I want to make axemen, then it's going to be requiring me to have some animal skins, but if you have a tanner, it's going to be taking all these animal skins and making into clothes, which prevents me from having those animal skins, and as a result I was not able to make any axemen. So this is something that I hope the devs are going to fix in the future. Now, right now, on top of the random maps, you also have a little bit of a campaign. Now, the campaign is more of a tutorial. It tells you how to move your units. It gives you an overview of what buildings are doing what and how to train your units, and also some of the mechanisms of the game. Like, for example, in the map, you're going to find a lot of items or locations that will be scattered around the area. Those items would either be abandoned or taken over by pirates, and if you kill those pirates or bandits, I should say, right? And if you kill those bandits, and you get access to some of those areas, which you can eventually loot and get access to the resources that are there. So that's also a nice incentive for players to explore the maps which are themselves quite complicated, especially if you want to be going to the other side and find some allies. For example, you're going to really have to explore because there's maybe only one path to the other side of the map, which is kind of a puzzle, and at the same time, you know, it's good to be going out of the beaten path. It forces you to get out of your comfort zone and send some scout parties. While at the same time, you know, it's I made a mistake because I was sending all of my troops to the scout party, and then in one of the random maps, I was attacked by I was attacked by the players on my base, and they destroyed my main building, so I lost. So again, this kind of management here is omnipresent in Frozenheim. And that's what I said, it's not an easy game. You're going to make a lot of mistakes, you're going to lose, and you're going to try again, and that's nice. Overall, I think that I had some interesting moments in Frozenheim. Is it a game that I'm going to play all the time? Probably not. I got plenty of other games to play. But is it, especially for the price? I paid this in early access for less than $10 US, and it's gonna get more and more content again. It's released. I think that you get some interesting value for the bucks, and that's why I think that I would recommend Frozenheim if you're into this whole Viking vibes, and especially, you know, the units look good, the game looks good, the music sounds nice as well. So if you have, you know, some time to spare and you want to be playing a single player game, for example, set in a Viking environment that looks good, unlike Valheim, for example, then yeah, this could be a game for you. So check it out. It is available on Steam, and if you are interested, then hopefully you're gonna have a good time. That's all for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, don't forget to please hit the like button and the subscribe button if you want to see more gaming videos. This is the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later. This video is brought to you by the people who support this channel on Patreon and via the join button as well. Supporters of the channel get access to lots of cool perks, such as access to my private Discord, your question answered in the show, you get to know when I'm going to play, and also you get to have a chance to influence the editorial line of the channel. Any help is appreciated, starts at just $1 a month. Thank you very much for watching. This is the Eradicator, and I'll see you guys later.